Ah, hello, miracle makers. This is Kevin Rice. It took me a few moments, I guess 12 minutes to get on Facebook Live. From time to time, I do question whether Facebook Live is usable or not, or functional. So I'm back here again, and I'm going to make sure I'm on here. I am. Good. Okay, look, I'm going to be talking with you about what love is not, okay? And if you are in relationships, my friend, then I'm the person that you need to communicate with, okay? I've been doing counselings for almost nearly 30 years. And Srida, it's good to see you, my friend. Hello. And so we're going to be talking about this today. And if you have any questions here at all, I will respond to any comments that you have. Before I do this, though, I need to remind you that this Sunday in Miami at Unity on the Bay, I'll be there at 1 o'clock. Hey, Yul, good to see you. I know that you're on our board of directors. It's good to see you connecting with us here. And again, I'll be in Unity on the Bay this Sunday at 1 o'clock in Miami. As we go through A Course in Miracles, I'm titling it Understanding A Course in Miracles. So that's 1 o'clock at Unity on the Bay. Go to unityonthebay.org. You'll see it on the calendar, and I hope that you will join us there as well. Hey, Yul, we love you so much, of course. So again, we're talking about relationships. Let me give you a little bit of context with me. Hey, Maria, good to see you, my holy sister. And, okay, first of all, I've been in relationships here for nearly 15 years with my spouse, Erin Adams. And yes, of course, with every relationship, we have ups and downs and so forth, as every relationship in our world would outpicture itself in this world. It is a process of learning and teaching. And we have to learn, first of all, who we are in this world, and secondly, how we then begin to teach love to the world. Of Course in Miracles says, teach only love, for that is what you are. So before I give you 4 or 5 or 6 statements here, so that you and I know what love is not in our experience, then we'll have a better understanding of what we are dealing with here. Hey, Caroline, good to see you. So let me say it a different way as well. We are not here trying to search for love. That is not what we are here for. We are here instead to find and search of any obstacles that we have imposed between ourselves and the awareness of God's love in this world. That is it. So all of the illusions, all of the obstacles, hi Alec, good to see you, my friend. All of the barriers that we have erected in front of ourselves against an awareness of God's love, that is what we do. Okay, hey Doug, good to see you, my holy friend. So the first thing I want to convey to you this afternoon, and by the way, I did it in the afternoon this afternoon because last night, the last 3 days, my place was being tinted. So I had to go to Miami with Erin and my dog, Leo, for 3 days. And so that's why I'm doing Facebook Live right now instead of the evening. And maybe this might be the best time to do it. I don't know. But if you have any questions that you have here, I'm on the iPad here. And I will respond to any questions that you have, okay? All right, the first thing, the first statement I want to convey to you under the auspices of love is not, what love is not, okay? First is this: love is not attraction. Love is not attraction. So the statement then, if we believe that notion, is, I'm more attracted to you than others. This brings a mentality that is special. Special. Love is not special. One person is not more important than another person. One relationship is not more important than another. Love is one. Love is one. And in that oneness, that inclusion, then we have an experience of love. The moment that anyone is removed from our awareness of love, then we lose love in our own minds as well. Hey, Gail, thank you so much for joining here this afternoon. So I say this every morning to my husband as well as to my dog as well. I say to my dog, here, I'll get Leo right now. Come here, boy. This is my dog here. Leo Burrito, okay? I say to Leo every morning, or every day rather, I say, hey Leo, I love you so much, I love you so much, which I do. But I also add the statement, but you're not special. Because the same love that I extend to my boy, Leo, I will extend to you as well, equally to everyone. So the moment that, this is how our relationships work in this world. We think that we're going to find a special person who's going to bring us happiness and joy and so forth. And then we find that person, and then what happens to everybody else in the background? They go into the background, and we don't see them. They are no longer special to us. So we have to understand as well that attraction then involves judgment. What is judgment? Judgment is the belief that what God has created, eternal, the love of God, has been and can be changed. That perception of change comes from us. And when that change comes into our awareness, then we miss the awareness of love entirely. We are in a special relationship. Now, I'm not saying to you that you should not judge. I am here saying that you are incapable of judgment entirely. Even with a person that you are in a relationship with, okay, you still don't know what that person's past involves entirely, or their present environment or conditions, or their future expectations. None of that is in our field of awareness, and because of it, we are incapable of extending love because in that moment we are judging a person for what we believe that they are. Okay, so experiencing, first of all, the love of God means that love is not a relationship. For instance, love is not form. Love is content. Love is the substance that we are moving in and through and abide in this world. It's like listening to a symphony. And all that we are hearing are the drums when we think that love is special. Keep in mind that romantic love was invented the 16th century by Andreas Capellanus. He wrote the book, The Art of Courtly Love. When he dropped that pebble into the pool of awareness that we are living in right now, he redefined love entirely. And we took that line, hook and line, fully in our relationships with other people. This is why I wrote the book, The Game of Love, Changing the Rules Changes Everything. It's available on our website, by the way, the Academy of Spiritual Awakening.org. But Andreas Papellanus said one time in his book, his first book in the 16th century, said that he taught that love was suffering, that it was a hook, which means to capture and to be captured. Just as a skillful fisherman tries to attract fish by his bait and to capture them on his crooked hook. So, let me say it this way. Love cannot be captured. The moment that you try to experience love, the ego comes up and says, oh, I experienced the divine love that I'm interacting with my brother or my sister here. But the ego pops up and says, okay, you are experiencing the love of God here, but now it is your responsibility to capture it, to contain it, to possess it, to own it, to label it. And the moment that we do any of those things, we lose the awareness of God's love in our life. That's it. Hey, Christian, I love your posts, by the way, on Facebook. You and I both are expressing and extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful each and every day. Hey, Angie. Angie, good to see you, my holy sister. So then love then is not, that love is not special, okay? The second thing I want to convey to you with respect to relationships is this. Love is not desire. Love is not desire. I want to say desire in the sense that desire, the lower cap of it, is not love at all. Of course, you and I, at the deepest part of our being, does have a desire for a remembrance of God's love, okay? But in this world of time and space, we see it differently than the way that God looks at love, okay? So in this continuum we call time and space, we are seeking outside for that love that we think is missing in our own psyches. You see this? And hey, Patrice, good to see you, my holy sister. So that desire then is for an external awareness, not an internal awareness of love. So that desire is under the auspices of the ego, which is an acronym for edging God out, or edging God's love out of my awareness, okay? And when we do that, we desire a treasure that is outside of us and dismissing the treasure that lives within us right now in this moment. Love is a state of being. It's a state of being. Of course you want to experience that right now in this moment. And when we do that, we let go then of our desire to manufacture an experience of love externally in another person. We have been given the treasure of God. We have been given a legacy, an inheritance from God that has been placed within all of us right now. The ego comes up and says, no, that love is not within you, it's outside of you. You've got to search for it outside. That's baloney. That's baloney. That the love that you really desire for is within you. And when you know that love fully, then you can extend and express that love to the world in this world. You get this? Maida, good to see you. My holy sister, welcome. You know, Buddha once said that the root of all suffering is desire. Now, it's true in this realm that it is the root of all sufferings within relationship. Okay? In other words, I can be happy as long as you are in my life. Then I'm happy. When you're not in my life, then I'm unhappy. This is the root of all suffering within this world. I've said it before, but it bears repeating again. That, yeah, you do have a desire within you to connect and remember the oneness that you share with your source, as well as the love that you share right now with your brothers and your sisters. However, this world of time and space is temporary. You, however, are eternal. And because you are eternal, you're not going to fully resonate with that which is also temporary. You see this? Hi, Oscar. Good to see you, my holy friend. Who you are is a child of the day, a child of the light. And because of that, you are eternal, period. And so anything within this world that brings a sense of resonance to you is because that which is also born from the eternal. God is as incapable of creating the temporary as the ego is incapable of creating the eternal. So you and I, knowing love then, want to live and move and abide in the eternal timeless now, where love flows through easily, without striving, without struggle at all, and definitely without suffering of any kind. So then, love then is not desire within this world. Love is not an outward experience. It's an inward experience that you can then at that moment begin to express that to the world. Until you and I can express that love to the world, until we remove the obstruction that we have placed within before us, before the eyes, we are blind in that moment. So when the heart then, or the third eye, is unobstructed, then there is love. There is light. This is why A Course in Miracles says this course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. This is why I say to a lot of couples and individuals looking or searching for love, is you want love right now, then give up the search for it. Because your desire to search outside of yourself for love, in that moment, then you miss the mark about the love that has been given to you already in this moment. The search for love then is really a fear of love. So that we are not addicted to love, but rather to the search of it. Do you all see this, folks? If you have any questions, by the way, a lot of people are joining me right now. Oh, I've got some comments here. Let me look here. Yule, we love you. Yule, Doug, Tesler, hi. Also, Sridhar, Paliav in India, I would assume that's where you are. So if you have any questions at all, I'm right here to respond to you immediately, okay? So, you know, I remember, I am reminded of an event when I was young. And I had a stuffed rabbit that I carried with me all the time. It's what I call in my book called the stuffed rabbit syndrome. Okay. So that stuffed rabbit that I had with him all the time was with me all the time, and I experienced love with that rabbit, that stuffed rabbit. And then one morning, when I was young, like 10 years old, I went in the pastures in Kansas City where I grew up, and all of a sudden, the real rabbits on our farm destroyed my stuffed rabbits. And then I was in hell. I was experiencing the suffering that comes from thinking that love is outside of you and not inside of you. Then when I grew up, somebody said to me, "Hey, Kevin, your stuffed rabbit is not outside of you. That love that you are experiencing comes from you. And when you begin to express and extend that love, then you can have an experience of unity. You know, your stuffed rabbit hasn't gone anywhere. That the love that you experience with that stuffed rabbit is still with you right now. Okay? It's only when the ego arises within your field of awareness that says, oh, your stuffed rabbit is gone, and therefore, so is love. That is a fallacy. The Polynesians once said that I laughed when they told me that the fish in the water were thirsty. Did you hear this? I laughed when they told me that the fish in the water were thirsty. And this is the experience that you and I experience in this realm. Excuse me. So in other words, the love and the light of God has already been given to us right now, right? But what are we doing instead? We're thirsty regardless of it, and so therefore we are searching for outside of ourselves because we think that the love within us is missing. That the treasure of love that has given to us by God has been dismissed and projected upon another person in another body. Do you see this? I hope so. So then 3 is this. What love is not. Here's the third one. If you didn't hear the first 2, it's on this Facebook Live and is recorded every week on our website as well. So what love is not? First was, love is not attraction. 2, love is not desire. Number 3, love is not hate. Love is not hate. So our version of love is mingled with hate. So I can love you at one moment, and then I can hate you at another moment. Okay? Then I can extend the love of God to you right now, but then I can withhold it from you in another moment. And when I withhold that love that I'm extending to you, then I'm experiencing hate instead. I am experiencing violence in that moment. You say, Kevin, why? Why is this important? I have no idea where this sound is coming from. Hey, can you all hear that alarm? I'm hearing it outside of my place. If that is alarming to you, let me know and I can stop this. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So let me revisit what I was just communicating to you. A great deal of damage is done when you tell people that you love them, when what you really should be saying to them is, I ought to love you. I ought to love you. But in this present moment, I'm not loving you right now. In that moment, that is where the violent nature occurs. And by the way, keep in mind this one fact here. Right now, you and I are exchanging molecules between each other. And the only thing that is separating me from you and you from me is my judgment about you. That hate and anger is possible in a state of love. That itself is a fallacy. That is certainly not lovable and not loving either. You see this? Patrice does. She says yes. Okay, Doug says yes too. So some people are in agreement with me at this moment. You know, my book, I'm going to read a little bit from my book, by the way. I should have it here somewhere, but I don't have it right with me, but whatever. You can see it on my website here. You are secretly afraid because this one has your treasure and you do not. He or she becomes the reason, the center, and cause of love in your life. Therefore, this one not only is the symbol of love, but your symbol of fear. This one who holds your treasure has so much power, you reason that he or she can simply withhold the treasure from you if it's discovered how truly unworthy you are of it. This makes you very afraid. And from this irrational and chaotic system of thought, the ego's version of relationship is born. This is why searching for love seems natural. This is why pain seems like a part of love. This is why attack, judgment, and jealousy seem natural in matters of love. This is why the world has gone mad. Again, that's in the game of love. Changing the rules changes everything. Okay, so we do not love the way that God loves, then, do we? Is God more particular about who it loves in this world? You know, right now outside of my place has some roses, and the sun is beaming onto it right now. Does God say, "Oh, I think I'll extend my rays of light to that roses, but I'm going to withhold that love from the weeds next to it"? No, this is not how God traffics at all. And this is unfortunately how people operate in time and space, and trafficking in judgment and jealousy and attack and blame, and put a label of love upon it. And it's total BS. That is your BS, your belief system. And that belief system can be changed right now. You have an opportunity to change your mind right now. You know, I for those of you who are students of A Course in Miracles or the Way of Mastery, you might remember that Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford understood that they unfolded A Course in Miracles, right? But they had a relationship that they had to work with each other. And Jesus said to Helen and Bill, who was in a conflict at that moment, said to them, "Hey, you need to understand the level of hatred that you guys have between each other before you can understand the love that exists between you." Do you see this? Hey, Jeff, good to see you, my holy friends. You see this? Is it not true that, do you not find it easier to say, "I hate you," than to say, "I love you"? Is that our experience in time and space? Okay, I covered the first three here. Love is not attraction. Love is not desire. Love is not hate. And let's look at the fourth one here. Love is not a relationship. You got that? Love is not a relationship. Love is a state of being. That's it. It's present, available to you and me right now in this moment. Love, 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 love. The gospel, in one word, is love, 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 love. This is why I have these bracelets every day, and thousands of other people do too. What would love do now? What would love in this moment do now? Right? Because most people in this world says, what would hate do now? What would attack do now? What would blame do now? What would victimhood do right now? All of that, if that is true for you, then all of you are asleep. Okay? I know that you don't want to be asleep. You know, it's not me to judge anybody who's asleep, but I am here to lighten a fire within you, to begin to awaken to the awareness of God's love, which is present for us right now in this moment. Hi, Francesca. Welcome to our room today. So the fourth one then, as I just said it to you, what love is not a relationship. In other words, love is not form. Love is content. Love is substance. You know, this is why one of the things that I tried to convey to the students in Miami or West Palm Beach or you folks in the world is stop being such a control freak, okay? And the reason why people are such a control freak is because their magnification, their attention, their energy is placed upon the world of form and not substance. So what is form? Form are the things, the effects of what's happening in our minds mentally. What's happening in the level of mind is substance. And what's happening in the realm of time and space is an effect. It's form. So, in other words, love is not form, meaning that love is not how the world will look at your relationships. In other words, you and I are not bound by what other people think about your relationships with your husband or your wife. It isn't. Look, keep in mind, my spouse and I have a very unconventional relationship. People look at us for the last 15 years and go, what is that? And Aaron and my response to everybody is, it's love. It's love. It's free of expectation. It's free of recipes. It's free of an agenda. It's free of expectations of any kind. And because of it, we have an experience of what? Liberty and freedom. That's why Aaron just said this to my neighbor last night in Miami and said, hey, the reason why Kevin and I have been together for 15 years is because we have dropped our expectations of another person, of each other. That's it. I know that's very difficult for you guys to put your head around that, but it is true. To whatever extent that you and I could release ourselves from expectations that was born in the 15th century on this planet, which is BS, and it should be removed immediately from your mind and your field of awareness, then you're like, oh, I'm free, finally. I can experience the love of God with everyone and everything, without exception. Do you see this? Hey, Marion, let me see if you have a comment here. Sridhar, of course I agreed. Love is beyond relationships. Of course it is. It is beyond form of any kind. Marion, living for this light. Of course you are. Marion, you're not here for darkness, okay? And you're not here to perpetuate the darkness either. But rather, you and I are here to express the good, the holy, and the beautiful in our relationships. When we understand that we're not in a relationship just with us and nobody else, love itself is a recognition that we are in relationship with all people and all things at all times. That is love. That is love. That is the reason why A Course in Miracles says, teach only love. For that is what you are. That is what you are. You're not an egoic mind trapped within the body, right? And trying to seek for love or joy or bliss elsewhere. When, in truth, it's here right now. You see, Maite? You see this? Of course you do. From A Course in Miracles, then, stop seeking the things of time and space. And instead, place your desire, your attention, your faith, your conviction, and your confidence on what is happening in the eternal, timeless now. Here and now. This portal, this window, is the only place in time and space where love easily and freely moves through and me and the world. Because we are not using the past and the future to measure our brothers and sisters against. We are not nailing our brothers and sisters on the cross of time and space. They're off the cross, okay? And in so doing so, we ourselves are off of the cross of time and space. You get this, folks? I don't even know how much time we've spent here together. Let me know how many minutes here we've been here together. It doesn't matter, does it? We're in the eternal timeless now. Okay. Again, I'm talking about the fact that love is not a relationship, that love is not form, and because of that, the reason why most people are in a control-oriented relationship is because that they are bound by the world of form and ignore the experience of what's happening in the substance or the content of God's love that is happening right now. A Course in Miracles says this: "Today, the peace of God envelops me, and I forget all things except His love. Father, I wake today with miracles correcting my perception of all things. And so begins the day I share with you, as I will share eternity. I do not seek the things of time, and so I will not look upon them. What I seek today transcends all laws of time and things perceived in time. I would forget all things except your love. I will abide in you and know no laws except your law of love. And I would find the peace which you created for your son and your daughter, forgetting all the foolish toys I have made as I behold your glory and my own. And when the evening comes today, we will remember nothing but the peace of God. For we will learn today what peace is ours. We learn today what love is ours when we forget all things except God's love." You see this? Love is not relationship. Love is a state of being. So, what kind of relationship is this? What kind of relationship is this? It's a sacred one. It's sacred. Hey, Melissa, I'll see you in Miami in just 2 days, Sunday at 1 o'clock. I should take a little break here and tell you briefly that I am going to be in Miami Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. for a workshop/class, Understanding A Course in Miracles at Unity on the Bay in Miami. Okay, it's a $20 suggested love offering. So we're not here for money. Of course, we're here to extend and express the good, the holy, and the beautiful, and we can call that love too. Deepak, good to see you, my holy friend. So what kind of a relationship is this that I'm in right now? You can say it's a difficult one. It's a relationship of struggle and striving, and we're trying to have some peace and so forth. Folks, there's a way to immediately transcend that narrative and that storyline that the ego has fed you. How? By seeing what you think is a bad relationship into a holy relationship. That's it. In other words, you are stepping into the eternal timeless now and stepping out of time and space. And in so doing so, then you don't have the past and the future intruding upon the holy, sacred moment that you are having right now in your relationships. So that simple shift of perception is easy, right? That is where the miracle occurs. You're not asked to move mountains to make the relationship work. It happens when you begin a shift perception in your mind by seeing this as a bad relationship to a holy one, a sacred relationship that you are in, regardless of how it is manifesting in your life in your relationships. You got this? I hope so. Let's see if we have any questions here. Yule, thank you so much. 36 minutes here. Of course, Yule knows anybody in this world. Time and space is not my problem, as a rule. So the calendar of time and space is not in my mind. So when I have some friends and associates, as Yule, to remind me how much time has gone by, it's very, very helpful. Okay. Now, I've given you what? 4 things in this conversation I'm having with you of what love is not. All of those obstacles, those barriers that we have erected to blind ourselves from an experience of love and joy and bliss, okay, I went through those 4 things with you. You can watch this anytime, going here on my page on Facebook Live or the Academy of Spiritual Awakening.org, our website. All of our videos are there every week. And by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel, by the way. That's available too. So I really want to end this interaction with you by saying that people who have universal love, and that's what we're talking about, is a universal love. There is no other kind but a universal love. If it is singular or exclusive, then it's no longer love at all. Okay, we experience the love of God together, or we don't experience it at all. It's that simple. But people who have universal love are widely respected, aren't they? Jesus, Gandhi, Maya Angelou, and she graced us, by the way, in my Unity on the Bay where I was speaking on Sunday. She did this before she passed away. Of course, Buddha is one of those universal love conduits in time and space as well. But, you know, it's really important for us to understand this, and just give me a moment here, for just a second here. I wanted to mention this to you, and I'll mention it, by the way, Sunday at Unity on the Bay and the workshop that I'm doing there as well. I always bring this little string with me, right? And it's a very, very long string, right? You can go on and on and on. I can tell you how long this string goes. It goes 26 feet out. 26.2 feet out. 26.2 feet away, if you put it outside of you, in a circumference around you. So you see 26.2 feet away, or 8 meters. So a newly developed measurement process created by the Institute of Heart Math says the electromagnetic field produced by the heart has a measurable radius of 8 meters, or 26.2 feet away. So it's a very, very long string, right? 26.2 feet, 8 meters away. So what does that mean? Let me mention, first of all, the law of resonance. The law of resonance states that when one vibrating system, called the physical body, comes into contact with another vibrating system, another physical body, that the vibration of the weaker body will adjust its energy to match that of the stronger body. In other words, the vibration of the stronger system will adjust the energy of the weaker system. Okay? So, in other words, then, if I am embodying the love of God, if I am being the love of God incarnate here, and I'm only teaching love because that is what I am, I know that this device I call the body will express and extend the self-same love that I'm experiencing in my being in this device, this learning and teaching device given to us to communicate the love of God. I know for a fact, scientifically, that 8 meters out, 26.2 feet away, other people will experience that self-same love that I'm embodying in this moment. Do you see this? This is why my dog, Leo, who you just saw at the beginning of the video, he knows the moment that my spouse and I go south by an argument, a difficult moment between us, it's rare. But when it happens, though, as it does in all relationships, he knows, and he goes back to this couch. I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to experience this in my heart, right? Because he knows the vibrations I am emitting by either through my thoughts of love or my thoughts of fear. We are all in this together. So I implore you to be gentle. The trees feel and they listen. Your pets feels and listens. Your inner child hears every thought. Be gentle. We are all in this together. Okay, folks, I want to remind you about one thing here. Every morning I get into my shower, of course, and it's a hot shower. And every day I perpetuate in my mind not the world of form or labels or definitions or names or anything, but rather I am enjoying and entertaining the substance of God's love in that moment. So then my references in my shower is always aligned with the eternal timeless now. It is not in alignment with time and space. It is not in alignment with the past or the future, because the past and the future are wholly illusory. And so therefore, it does not have any touch upon me whatsoever. Hello, Esteban Landano. Good to see you, my holy brother. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow, probably, or Saturday in Miami. So I do that every morning, understanding that I'm not a body, but rather I am a mind communicating and expressing the love of God to everyone. Hey, Christopher Jackson. You see this? That's why every morning then, we're talking about the universal figures in our past who have beautifully extended the love of God to a world that is in desperate need of it. The Buddha, Jesus, Mother Teresa, and so on. So there are some aspects that they begin to embody in their lives that is actually quite beautiful. Hey, Claudia, good to see you as well. One of the things that they do is that they are apt to give things away. This is how love operates in this world. People who are experiencing the love of God fully, they are apt to give things away easily. Now, why? Why is this important? They know, and for instance, Esteban Landano and Chris Jackson, who's watching right now, they know these bracelets very well. And they wear them. Esteban a little bit more than Chris, to be honest. But that's okay. He doesn't do bracelets very much in this world. But whatever. And by the way, Chris Jackson gave 700 bracelets to everybody at Unity on the Bay weeks ago. And many of them wear them. Now, the reason why Chris gave that bracelet away and why Esteban and myself, and we wear two every day, and the reason why we wear them is because we're going to give one of those bracelets away to somebody else. They're in a moment. And we get an instruction, an inner voice that says, hey, give this bracelet. What would love do now in this moment? And the reason why this is so important is because when we do that, we collapse time and space immediately. And then we move into an awareness of what's happening right now. We are, in essence, emptying our minds from time and space so that in that moment, in this open mind, we can hear how we should move forward in this life. You see something that is difficult arising in your field of awareness, you stop and then you ask, what would love do now? What would love do now in this moment? Tell me, what would love do now? This is why holy and spiritual beings who are full of love, why they are apt to give things away. Because everything that we give is given to ourselves because we are one. Okay? They are either living and moving and abiding on one of two ends of the spectrum, right? One of the end of this spectrum is carnal thinking, and the other one is full of love and light and joy and peace. One of those ends is when we extend and express the good, the holy, and the beautiful each and every day. This is what I said earlier when I said to do a shower every morning, and I say, my love I give to you, Esteban, or Chris, or Claudia, or Yule, or all of those people watching right now. My love I give to you that I may know God's love as mine in this moment. I do this every morning in a hot shower. That's like a regular shower, but me within it, okay? So then it's a hot shower. Keep in mind as well that studies have shown that the more choices you have has been presented to you, the less likely you are to make a choice. You think you have several choices here to have between us? Wrong. You have one of two voices, one of two choices, love or fear. That's it. Love brings an experience of awakening. Fear condenses your being, it contracts your mind, and it strangles everything in the relationship. This is why loving, genuine loving relationships go south when we allow fear to direct our moves as we move through time and space. So the moment that you have a moment of fear, just ask, what would love do now? And then that fear will go into the nothingness from which it was born. The other second thing that people do, Buddha and Jesus and Mother Teresa would do, is that their love is freely given. In other words, love does not require a sacrifice from me or anybody else. No true relationships or genuine relationships involves a sacrifice from you or from me. This is why A Course in Miracles says repeatedly that the son or the daughter of God is in chains as long as he or she believes that she or he is in chains. And when he sees himself as free, when she sees herself as free, she is free. He is free. This is why I've said it last week, and I'll say it probably this weekend at Unity on the Bay, that most relationships in this world are nothing more than two sets of expectations who come together to live in frustration. That's it. And then finally, why the spiritual pioneers in this world, Buddha, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Maya Angelou, would know this as well. They understood who they are. This is the same thing that Jesus said to Helen Schuckman, the scribe of A Course in Miracles, when Helen said to him one day, "Hey, why does this woman experience so much miracles in her life?" And Jesus said, "That is because she knows who she is." She knows who she is. So it's not about manufacturing a beautiful, loving, romantic relationship. It's not about that. But rather, it's a matter of alignment. It's understanding who you are. That you're not an ego trapped in a brain with thinking devices. No. That your mind is way more expansive than that. It involves every experience, every field of awareness that we are looking at right now in this moment. You see this? Hey, Philippine. Good to see you, my friend. That's why they know who they are. And my friends, that's what you and I need to know, who we are. We are as God created us, and not what we made of ourselves. You know, what we are experiencing is not a product of authorship. Okay? We know who the author is. It's our source. We know the effect of that source. That's you and me. And the only purpose in this world is to extend and express the love of God. That is the only reason that you are even here in this world, is to wake up. Wake up to the awareness of God's love, the sacred nature and the quality of your relationships with other people. You get this? I hope so. Let me just finally look at any questions here. Any questions that you have. I think we're doing just fine here. And Marion, I'm glad that you are hearing this as well. So thank you so much for connecting with me every week. Look, we all always have hiccups, especially with Facebook Live, which is a challenge and an opportunity for love, which I'm doing it every week. But, you know, because of the events that happened the last 3 days, where I had to go to Miami because of the tenting happening here at my place in West Palm Beach. So what would love do now, you know? Do it right now and communicate with your brothers and sisters right now. And I want to thank you once more for your donations, your love offerings to the Academy of Spiritual Awakening through our website. The donation button is there, or here as well on Facebook Live. And your letters and your emails from people also supporting the Academy of Spiritual Awakening, as well through your time, your energy, your volunteering, and your donations and love offerings. Please know that we are extremely appreciative of all of the support that you are putting our way, and we very much appreciate it. I guess that Chris and my friends Sridhar said something here. Have a great representation of love. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you soon. And Sridhar, have a lovely evening, Kevin. Namaste. Thank you. And namaste to you as well, and to all of you. And if no one has told you today that they love you, allow me to be the first. I love you so much, and you are pure light.